If you're brand new to Dorico or have been using it for a few years now, these tips will help you optimize your workflow so you can write your music more quickly and efficiently. Let's get started. My first thing isn't so much of a workflow change, but I still like to do it nonetheless. You can change the background colors for both write mode and engrave mode independently. I like to do this to kind of get my headspace in the right place, depending on which mode that I'm in. And I just like the feeling. You can change these in the preferences under colors, and these are the two color schemes that I use. Now, there are certain ways that you can speed up your note input workflow. For example, using the popovers like Shift D to quickly input the dynamics that you want instead of going into the panels on the right and doing everything manually with the mouse. Or use the arrow keys with the modifiers. Modifiers being Alt or Option, Shift, Control/Command, etc. to lengthen or shorten notes and whatnot. If you want to input a part quickly, you can record your performance directly into Dorico and it'll notate what you played in. But maybe if you're not a great keyboard player or you just don't have an external MIDI keyboard connected to your computer, you can instead record just the rhythm that you want into Dorico and then turn on lock to duration mode and then type in the notes that you want. Every note that you recorded will automatically be updated with the pitches that you're inputting in real time without having to affect the rhythm that you initially recorded. This is super useful. The way key commands are laid out in Dorico is very, very well thought out, which is a great way to get things done quickly. There are many useful functions. However, not everything has a default key command assigned to it, but you can easily add one. Here are a few that I have added for myself. Select to end the flow, move to staff above and below, copy to staff above and below, hide signposts, laissez vivre ties. The rule is if you find yourself doing something over and over again, set a key command for yourself so that you can do that one thing quicker each time that you need to do it. There are only so many keys on the keyboard though, and not a lot of space in the noggin to remember them all. So another great thing that you can use is the jump bar, which was introduced in version 4. Hit J on your keyboard and you can invoke almost any kind of command by typing it into the box. Better yet, you can set up what's called an alias. An alias is a set of keys that you can use to quickly launch a certain command when you have the jump bar invoked. Here are a few that I have for commands that I use often, including the alias that I set up for them. Grouping dynamics, ungrouping dynamics, laissez vivre ties, increase intensity, decrease intensity. Another important thing that you can do to increase your workflow speed is to take advantage of all of the options dialogues that are in Dorico and saving your defaults. You would be surprised what you can actually change. And hey, if you use something a certain way, save it as a default so that you don't have to change it every single time you start a new project. To take that one step further, the library manager lets you use these options across other scores and projects that you've already made. This is a great way to make sure that all of your scores have the same settings so that they have a consistent house style for all of your notated music. You can easily find it in the library menu, and this is such a welcome addition to Dorico. The instrument filter overlay is also a fantastic new feature. This lets you see only certain instruments at a time while you're working in galley view. You can even organize different groups of these instruments together. I recently completed a piece for middle school band, and while I was working on the piece, I set up some instrument filters for myself to differentiate between the high instruments, the middle instruments, and the low instruments. This way I can ensure sameness across all of the instruments no matter where they are in the full score. This prevents a lot of scrolling up and down to find the parts that I'm writing for, especially in big scores. Probably one of the biggest time savers is to make and save templates for yourself. If there's a specific group of instruments that you write for often or have a specific style that you want to continue using over and over again, make a template. I have a couple that I use myself, like for big band charts, middle school band pieces, or for film scoring, specifically a string orchestra, which happens to be available for score level Patreon support. This is so next time I don't have to set up all of my instruments, my engraving options, my page templates, my copyright information, etc. every time that I want to make a similar piece. All right, so that's all I got. Comment down below any tips that you may have. And until next time, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Ernesto Composer. You can visit my Patreon at patreon.com/Ernesto Composer. You can get access to templates like for Dorico, score study versions of my own published works, score study Sunday hangouts every single month, and more goodies. You can visit my website at ernestocomposer.com. Thanks so very much for watching. As always, take care.